What's up, guys? Mike McIntyre here with All Things Sports, and I'm here today to bring you a new video of the Nike Magista Obra 2s. Okay, so as you've probably read from the title, okay, so as you probably already know, this is the new colorway from Nike. It goes along with the Floodlights pack. Okay, so this is the Magista Obra, and I think this is probably the best looking colorway of the pack. This shoe looks absolutely phenomenal, and I think it's definitely the best looking one out of the entire pack, and we're going to unbox it and review it for you today. Officially, it is the Rio Teal, Volt, Obsidian, and Clear Petrol colorway. Those colors are really difficult, I suppose. They're just these complicated names for no reason, but we'll discuss it, and we'll talk about the colorway, the tech specs, and we'll do an on-feet portion of this video as well. In the box, you get a string bag. Okay, so just quickly, it's this sort of dark turquoise color. It actually looks really good. So the string bag is this dark turquoise color. You get this Volt colored Magista branding along the front. You get a Volt colored swoosh, dark navy blue strings, and I think this actually complements the bag very well. The back side is just blank, and then you get your little pocket on the inside that's zippered up, so you could put a phone in there, wallet, keys, anything like that. We'll get the second out. Don't need the box anymore. This is the new color. Okay, guys, so like I said before, I think this looks absolutely phenomenal. I think it's the best looking one in the pack. They really did a good job with it. So we'll just talk quickly about the color. We'll talk a little bit about the tech specs, but we won't go really into detail. I've done some other reviews on the Magista Obra 2s. If you guys want to check out a more detailed review, I'm going to leave a link in the description or a little card up in the right-hand corner, so you can click over here and check it out. So again, this will just be a very brief overview of the Obra, and we'll do a little on-feet portion. So colorway, I'm gonna use my own colors, because that name that I just read to you before was extremely complicated. So you get this sort of dark turquoise color as the base of the upper. It fades a little bit lighter where the laces are and into this sort of heat map pattern that we've seen on the Obra 2s. Gets the lightest in here in the middle, and that kind of looks like a very light sea blue, okay? Almost silvery and white. It's got these hints of different colors to it, and it's the same idea on the inside here. As you can see, it's dark on the outside, gets a little bit lighter, and it's at its lightest point right in there. The back portion of the shoe fades into this really dark, pretty much looks like a purple color. So it outlines sort of the ankle bone here on the dynamic fit collar. It's part of the stitch covering that you see up here along the Achilles tendon. And it outlines the outsole here as well. So as you can see on the outsole, it's this very light turquoise color. I would call this a pure turquoise, but you get in this split toe design, and all the way around is that sort of dark purple color. And then you get Volt to finish it all off. So you get a Volt Nike swoosh here. The ACC branding's in Volt. You get your large Nike swoosh here in Volt. The Magista logo there. And these sort of 360 studs along with the Nike the Nike swoosh in that Volt color as well. So let me know what you guys think about the color. I absolutely love it. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Was there one you liked even more? Just let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. You can leave that down in the comment section. The upper is made out of Flyknit, something we've seen a lot now from Nike. They incorporated it on 3 out of their 4 top-end shoes. So everything but the Tiempo Legend is made out of Flyknit nowadays. So we have Flyknit as the base. You get this Nike skin layering on top that will just give the shoe a bit more durability, and it will prevent it from getting wet and soaking up water and stuff like that. You get pure Flyknit up here in the dynamic fit collar. It's stretchy, it's elasticated, it still bounces back. It's still very similar to what we saw in the first generation. On the Magista Obra 2s, you do get these sort of bumps. I really don't know what else to call them. I've called them this in my other videos. They're really just these big bumps of Flyknit. So they made like these little areas here that are supposed to give you a bit more texture, a little bit more feel on the ball, I suppose. If you look at the shoe from a different angle, maybe something like that. I don't know how that will come up on camera, but it really comes off the surface of the shoe. They're actually quite significant. So I think they'll soften up to the once you start using these shoes. I think they'll soften up, but right out of the box, they're actually very firm. The entire upper should soften up quite a bit, so I suspect these will too. The Flyknit usually does, so that sort of remains to be seen. I've never owned a pair of these myself yet, so I don't know for sure, but I suspect that this area will soften up quite a bit, along with the rest of the upper. The sole plate is this new design too. We've seen this on the Superfly 5. They've sort of shaped the outsole, I suppose, to mimic the shape of a human foot. It's not quite to the same extent as on the Superfly, but they do incorporate it a little bit. You've got this cupped heel, so your heel really fits in there nicely. You have this stiffener bar that's sort of pushed a little bit to the outside, as you can see right here. So it creates this creates kind of like a pocket where the human arch would be, so it just raises that area a little bit, and then you've got this nice big area for the ball of your foot. That's sort of the shape. Apart from that, it's flexible. It will soften up a little bit and be even more flexible. The studs are, you know, something we've kind of seen before. The pattern itself isn't that different. Even this itself, this sort of, I keep calling it this 360 pattern because it reminds me of the studs we saw on the CTR 360 Maestri. So you have these three in here that are this volt color that outlines 360, a little small sort of toe pick stud in there. You've got the two, 1, 2 here, 2 here, and your 4 in the heel. They're pretty much conical, most of them, except for this one flat edge. So that kind of helps in traction. I believe that's the idea behind it. If you have one flat edge, it's just going to give you a little bit more traction to help you push off and accelerate in different directions depending on how you're going, whereas the rest of the stud being conical will still allow you to pivot and get that movement that you'll actually need when digging into the ground, if you understand what I mean. The upper is covered in ACC. That's your wet control element if you're playing in rain or really wet conditions, I guess, wet fields, to just give you a bit more traction on the ball. Stay tuned. I'm going to slip them on for you just to talk a little bit more about the fit, and then we're going to wrap up the video. Alright guys, so there's a look at the Nike Magista Obra 2s on feet. From right out of the box, they're quite comfortable. I'm going to try and give you guys the best sort of breakdown of the fit I possibly can. These are a little bit big for me. Given that they're not my actual size, it's a little bit difficult for me to be 100% convincing on the fit and feel. But from right out of the box, they're fairly comfortable. You definitely notice that they're a wider fit, okay? So compared to last year's version, from right out of the box, they're going to fit more people, especially people like me with wide feet. They're definitely going to fit you better. The upper is, it's firm, but it should soften up, okay? So it's a little bit firm, but it should soften up a little bit. Once you get, you know, a few sessions in them, I really think they'll be just fine. And the dynamic fit collar, from what I can tell right now, it's definitely way better than it used to be. You don't feel that tab on the back. They've definitely cut that down. Given that the covering doesn't come up as high, you don't feel it as much on that Achilles tendon. So they've definitely done a much better job with that. If you're looking to buy a pair for yourself, some people think the Magista Obra runs a little bit long, so you could go up half a size. I like suggesting to stay true to size. But ultimately, if you're really serious about buying a pair, try and find a pair in a store. Try them on first. Even if they're not the colorway you want, try and get your hands on the shoe itself. Try them on, see what fits you best, and then look into sort of purchasing them, because it's really difficult to give people a suggestion on size without really knowing what their foot's like and how it's shaped and all that kind of stuff. So that's my best advice for buying a pair for yourself. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. I'll definitely get an answer out to you. If you have any suggestions, okay, leave those down there. I always like hearing what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. That's always helpful, and it's nice to know that people are engaging with the content and they like what you're putting out there. And last but not least, please subscribe if you haven't already. I usually release a lot of videos with soccer equipment, and I touch a few other aspects too. I like making videos on a lot of different things. So please subscribe if you're interested, and that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap up this video. So thank you guys very much for watching, and take care. This was Mike McIntyre with All Things Sports.